everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv/the Xisuma. Let's start with the mandatory reminder for anyone watching on the second channel that the flag exists, or at least it exists until the end of February, and that'll be your last opportunity to get your hands on it. Let's log into Hermitcraft. Blooming Digital Chaos to Can of Heaven in the chat with Bananas. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Today's an exciting stream because we have a plan based on our last one, right? And Zed was immediately slain by a wither skeleton. Wonder if they're up to something. We might see Tango later today. That we might do because we're building the farm, or the rest of the farm. That's the thing, by the way. Like, I don't know who put that there, but thank you. I wonder if my backup wings are still in here, or if that's where they ended up. Oh, someone renamed them and put them there, I guess. Yeah, we're going to build a farm. Also, I never started the music. I felt like something was off. Now everything is good in the hood. We got a little bit of organization to do first of all, because the inventory is absolutely foul and disgusting. As you know, why would it be anything else? We don't need a lot of buckets. We might need a couple. I'm going to take that with me. And then the rest of this stuff can kind of go up here for now, I think. Might need some scaffolding at some point. Might need some more dirt. It's possible. Those firework rockets are for my backup gear, actually. Welcome to more peeps that are tuning in. Got lots of hellos in the chat, so welcome everyone. The plan today is to have fun. There is a plan, there is a plan. You know what, didn't I say I might need the dirt, so let's take the dirt back. Yeah, that's much better. You're literally thinking it would be amazing if I were live today. Well, I heard your prayers. Let's go see if we got lots of magma blocks or if we need to go hunt some. Should be a pretty straightforward thing to do today. Like, I might need a little more gold on hand, but probably not. Like, everything's in our ender chest. You know, I'm going to need a bunch of blocks to build on top of, so we'll take a shulker box full of dirt, and that's coarse dirt. Of course it's coarse dirt, you know? For the puns. Yeah, okay, so shulker box of stone. Got everything for the rails. Honestly, the thing that might help the most is having some better armor, which I don't really have. Yo, we got Sad Noble Storm coming in for 5 months. You're going for all the Twitch sub milestones. Can't wait for a Twitch baby. You'll get there one day. Maybe like in 4 months, 120 days. Faychild77, thank you for 70 months. How am I today? Having a great day. Alleviated some burdens, let's say. I am, as I've talked about before, I can be a stress head. And I have to actively work not to be. But I think sometimes I just need to clear my plate. And I was able to do that again today. And then I had a really amazing time doing some creative building. And like getting my plans for the future in order. And now I feel really good. I'm like, yeah, we got our Hermitcraft plan together. You know, I definitely actually won't need that much. I've overdone it. Let's put all that in there. We'll leave a little bit of space for other items. Yeah, so I feel pretty good. Pretty good, basically. Next couple of days are going to be nice and easy and breezy. Another JT, 104 months. Good to see you, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, like the plan for... Oh, like I can see it. I can see it in my mind's eye what's going up there, right? Because I've been working on it all day. That area, this area here. Might do some buildings in between them. Might do those later. But like, I've been formulating the next steps of the season. And it's really good. Sometimes it feels like a bit of a burden to know that you're going to have to do something as good as that again, you know, but I feel like I'm finding my building groove, so Building looks good. Oh, maybe a nether portal. A nether portal might be a good strategy for where we're going. How do I decide which albums to review? Maya, they're just ones that I'm interested in, right? Like I've got 3 records, I think, on my list at the moment. Tomorrow I might get around to writing about one of them because I will have the time to do that. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, it's just like whatever I'm listening to. You're only 5 minutes late today. Well, thank you for a 5-minute reminder because guess what I got? Hot cup of tea. Here we go. Obsidian. That's what we want. A little bit of that. Flint and steel. Flint and steel. We need that. We'll make our portal in the Nether first. I'm going to do this the cheaty way because I know roughly where the farm is built. And I will go use my external tools to do that. It's no secret that these things get used. I just try to not use them on camera as much anymore. And it's probably about time I started sipping my hot cup of tea, right? Have I heard of the new song Motionless in White, Afraid of the Dark? I haven't. I was listening to them again the other day. They're alright, that band. They're kind of like, to my ears, to my age-old ears, they're just such a... Like, they lack originality, but, like, with all the sounds in metal's history that they plunder, like, they put together really good songs out of all those different sounds that I've listened to over the years, you know? So, I was listening to some of their songs again, and I like that. And they write good songs, right? They know how to write a good song. Okay, so I've got the rough coordinates on the thing here. I mean, one is minus 800, so it would be minus 100 in game. And the other one is 332. Oh, 32. It's actually 33. 32 though should be pretty divisible by 8. Is it 4? 4 times 8? So that would make it 400. About 410. But let's do it with a calculator. So that's 3,300 divided by 8. 412. Not bad. Not bad for some rough brain math right there. My chat is incredibly quiet. I say this because for a whole minute and a half it hasn't moved. So if you're in chat, please plop down a message and let me know that it isn't broken, because right now it kind of gives me broken vibes, right? I like my wheels. Thank you so much for 26 months as well. Appreciate you. I'm pretty sure it's broken. It stopped. By now, I should have seen a message, unless absolutely no one was watching. Let's go ahead and refresh it, which, strangely enough, doesn't work. You have to, like, reload it entirely. There's, like, no refresh button. Okay. All right, now... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it froze or whatever. Willow D, hi. Thank you for typing in the chat. It's working for me. Don't worry, it's working. It's good. Oh. What's going on here? Okay, and then there's another one. Maybe I should do this. Is there a gap there for me? Like, there is no gap. Okay, let's go and... The annoying thing is that stuff's going to spawn in here now, isn't it? So we have like an extra task to do, I guess. Or maybe I like move my portal over here. I don't know fully what the plan is at the moment. But we'll figure something out. So, let's trigger the coordinate hub. HUD, even. Hey, didn't I say we were supposed to be drinking my tea right now? We got distracted by many sorts of things. Chat, I got you back, by the way. Hello, chat. Oh my god, perfect time to start drinking it. Brilliant. Brilliant. So 100, so this way, and then... But maybe actually go 400 blocks that way? This could end up being quite precarious, honestly. And may not be the best thing to do right now. Because we had a bit of safety a while ago. With building portals high up, and now we've kind of lost that. So I really need more materials. And I don't know how long this tunnel is going to go on for. Wait, which number am I manipulating here? Yeah. So it's about 60 blocks that way and 160 that way, you see what I mean? There might also be another tunnel that goes near it too. Dan M, thank you for 2 months for the Prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you. How do I drink my tea? With my mouth. Unconventional, I know. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's a disaster. Skywalker, what after? But if he could be turned to the dark side, another dark ally, he will join us or die. We got Death Star, Death Star. There's a few phrases that like kick off lyrics in my head. If someone says it's a disaster, immediately my brain goes Skywalker, what after? Right? If someone says, oh, how does it start? Oh yeah, if someone says, if what you say is true, my brain says, the Wu-Tang and the Shaolin, the zoom button, could be dangerous. Do you think a Wu-Tang sword can defeat me? It's a valid question. Banjo? Tango's been playing his banjo. I do not want to get shot at right now. No. Is there lava below? Okay. Where's that sniper? Because it's probably gazillion blocks away. And just managing to, like, curve its arrow around a wall or something silly. That's how this works, right? Okay, let's go through here. Right, I should be mildly safer just standing here for a second and drinking tea. Microphone checker, swinging sword lecture. Oh my god, that's a Wu-Tang rhyme, isn't it? Dude, I love rhymes. I love rap. Chaotic 1988, thank you for 9 months. Twitch, baby. Let's play the animation. I was listening to The Firm today. Like, that album was a flop at the time, and I was listening to it again, and it's like, it's not particularly easy to get into. I feel like you can hear a vision they were aiming for, but it didn't quite line up well. But yeah, I love rhymes and rap and all of that. The Rockweiler, Method Man, and Red. You know what? I've never got into that. Like, I've definitely listened to it a bunch of times. I remember listening to the Blackout records. I've never gone like too hard on that pair on their records. I'd probably really enjoy them if I stuck around a bit more. I was also listening to Eric Sermon and Redman. They had this side project called, I think the album was called El Nino or something. I didn't really think much of it. I was just listening to it at random after listening to The Firm today. But yeah, I used to have to like really do research and digging around to find records when I was younger, and now it's just all on Spotify. It's so easy, like just throws all sorts of stuff your way, and you find out about all these like rare collaborations and stuff that time has forgotten about. You love bundle rap. Good for you. I hope you have a bundle of fun when rapping. Chat, please throw messages at me. I've got that weird feeling like it feels like it's frozen again. Oh, if that's going to be a regular occurrence, I'm going to be annoyed. No, it's moving, thank goodness. Chat, you got to keep chatting. It's your role, it's your job, you know? It's your job. What am I paying you for? Nothing. Oh, this turned out to be not a bad idea to come over this way, because we'll get the tunnel in. I'm pretty sure it's going to go just about to the right spot. What's an improv naughty farm? It's an improvised Nautilus farm. Or should I say Nautilus shell? And yeah, and then this way about 20 blocks. And we got them. Right, so we'll put our portal right here. That'll work. Can you imagine if these were blocks of coal and not obsidian? sometimes they look very similar. Right, the other thing I'd like to do is get rid of all this soul sand. Like, why have a tunnel if you're going to go slow, you know? How can you improve on survival mode in Minecraft? I need help. Okay, I thought you were going to say how can you improv, which I could explain, but how can I improve Minecraft and you need help? I don't know what you mean. Like, if I could improve the general game of Minecraft, sure, I could give you some suggestions, but how does that relate to you needing help? Not sure quite so what that means. Some people want a leisure walk. They want a slow walk. Well, they can hold shift, those people, those insane maniacs. Like, you keep dying. Yeah, that might be what they're asking, you know? They might be like, eh, keep dying, but that's not what they said. So, they want to get better at Minecraft. You know, if I say, hey, I want to get better at Minecraft, help me. Like, it's not a lot to go on, right? If I start saying, well, what you need to do is think about what type of blocks you're putting together for your builds. Oh, no, I meant, you know, I meant parkour. I meant redstone. I meant survival. I meant this thing, I meant that thing. You know, specifics are helpful. Specifics are helpful. Jump straight into hardcore. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, what if you're trying to get good at hardcore? I don't play hardcore. I noticed a lot of hardcore players play with mods that allow you to, like, instantly pause the game and stuff like that, so that might be a thing. No. Go away, sniper. It's probably going to shoot an arrow up in the air and it's just going to magnificently bend and fall and whack me in the face. Because that's what they do. These filthy snipers. Did you miss the slurp noises? I'm still at it. They said survival. Yeah, I mean, if you say, I want to get better at building... This is interesting. Oh! I can give you something to work with. Survival is still a bit vague. Like, what aspect of survival is it? So this is where Tango plays with his banjo. Jeez. Is there more built? Oh my god, there's more since yesterday. Of course there is. The man is literally insane. See? Look, he's literally being insane right now. Will he notice us? Did he hear that? Boo! I could have unmuted. Hi. Hey, sir.
How's it going?
Not so bad. I was just saying how mad you are with all the blocks you placed, and you were literally here placing them.
Doing the thing. That's all I do.
You going slightly mad again?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm ready for it to be done. But we're almost there.
Almost. To be fair,
Not really.
It looks like you're over halfway there.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, Zedap is just over here now, Charlotte. I would say I'm like 70% done or so.
Nice. That's cool.
Thing.
Dude, I'm actually heading over to where we were yesterday. I'm going to work on that farm. So.
Cool. All right. Well, maybe I'll stop by in a little bit.
Yeah, if you want to swing by, you're welcome to.
Head down, getting some mountain done. But yeah, maybe I'll see how it turns out.
When I fly back, I will see more mountain then.
Yes, you will. You will.
All right, Tango. Take care.
Later, X.
Right. Yeah, we did say yesterday that we might do something. Look at this. This bit here is a bit strange, but I understand everything else I'm seeing. It's just chunks that are loaded. But why is this bit missing and then it loads? Because I've now flown out here, like the Bobby mod is loading more. So if I go in that direction, it could all be loaded. And then when we look back, decked out is loaded. I love this extended view distance. It's awesome. Just a shame like you can't pull more from the server, but that would probably overload it, right? Tango is a machine. He really is, man. He's going all out on Decked Out. Right, I've had some time to think, and I've had some thoughts on how to execute this. And I'm not entirely sure where my mind is settled, but I've got a couple of interesting ideas. Now, the AFK platform for the player, it would make sense just to put it here now, right? Even though the water doesn't go all the way up. But wherever we AFK, there's actually like an area where the mobs won't spawn. I mean, we got one straight away, so it's a sign that the concept works. We might also drop down and like turn this into a square shape. There's several things we're going to do here, but we're going to start by turning on this, opening up the options. We're going to do away with the biome render for now. And I think I might turn off the light levels as well, just for the time being. Now, here we've got a couple of spears. These are related to the... what should I call this? Can spawn spear. Let's replace the brackets with the creeper farm, like that. Because I kind of like that these things get preserved in your settings. But then you got to remember to rename them so you know what they are. Like that. Good stuff, good stuff. Right, so we're going to add another one. And it's first of all going to be the can spawn sphere. When we configure it, we'll just say naughty. Let's actually just do the correct thing. Nautilus, right? Enable it, and then we'll see it here. So currently, we're not actually on the central spot. We don't quite know where it is, but here you will see that by standing there, we're not effectively using the water. I immediately know what I want to do now. We've put the water there. We should probably put our AFK platform a little bit higher in the sky. So when we decide where the middle is, we'll pillar up and we'll make that a little bit higher. Second thing we're going to do is add another sphere. This time it's going to be the despawn sphere. We're going to enable it and configure it so that this one says Nautilus, right? Okay, now we've got all of that done. When we free cam it, you'll see we've got the inner one and then we've got a massive big out one. Now, currently, this isn't actually that helpful, but it will be when we change it, because I've just, you know, going through this step by step, I remembered we don't actually want it to be 128 blocks. And I thought you could control that somewhere here. So can we just have... Can we have a sphere of any type? Adjustable spawn sphere? Maybe that's what we need. Radius, there we go. So like the 128 isn't actually what we're looking for. We're looking for something maybe more like 60. Let's go ahead and put that in brackets. And then remove that one. Right. I think it just placed it around where my camera was. Great. Okay, set here. So now, you'll see the 60 block one there, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a number that we think is the most effective, and we're going to build our platform based on that. So I think what we should do is maybe convert this thing into a bit more of a square shape, just so it's a bit more pleasant to look at. Like, I'm not sure which bit we'll expand and do away with, right? It kind of looks to me like this bit here is probably not worth having, where it comes off the edge. Probably build it in a box out to there a little bit, and then yeah. Right, so we rebuild the box. Then we define a central spot a little bit higher, so the top of the water is the bottom of that sphere. And then we pick a number for the second sphere. And when we've picked that number, we'll be able to fly down here and build the killing platform. Now, the point of the second sphere is that, look, they can still survive outside of it, but it's about having a decent amount of time for them to spawn and come down to the bottom of it. Make it a circle, says Wobble Bob. I think that'll make its like layout a little more inefficient, and also the collection system will probably be a little less desirable that way. But I do like the idea of making it a circle, honestly. That feels kind of cool. So if we were to make this more of a circular shape, we would probably do away with a lot of what we've already got. No, I think a circle is unfortunately going to make it smaller. I think we're just going to stick with the rectangle that we've already got here. So we kind of need to get above that to start work. Don't really know where it is from where I'm currently at. Appears to be behind us somewhere. Somewhere over here. Might also want to turn off the renders for the time being. Specifically those ones. Okay, so it's right there. And then we need... I can just use netherrack for now. Huh, it didn't let me jump. Okay, and then we do this, which is an absolute pain in the bum. And that's the border. Except I think the border will actually be one over here. Yeah. Okay, this should... Bit worried about that thing popping up. This should start to make sense pretty quick, what I'm doing. Like, we're going to go all the way across there to the edge. It does say river here. I think we'll be alright. So here's where we might extend it more in that direction. Like, you can see the river biome could go an extra 2 blocks that way, and could probably go 1 more over that way. Let's do that. Let's go 2 more this way, 1 more that way. So that would be 1, 2, and then this would be the edge. In fact, we'll place the border first, then we'll swim underneath. Right, okay. Are y'all following what we're doing? If you've got any questions, ask in chat. I'll try and do a better job of explaining it. But now we're just playing the old placing blocks game for this next section. Big Papa House, thank you so much for 47 months. A month closer to 4 years. Yeah, 1 more to go, man. No, or is it a little bit more than that? 24, 48. Yeah, no, that's it. Thank you so much, my dude. I appreciate the support over the years. Yeah, see, here you can see, like, that's all forest. So let's just run it along. Yeah, we can get, like, one more block this direction, and we'll get a little bit more river that way. But here's where we cut off some existing spawn. Only a little bit, though. Okay, so now that we've put the perimeter in, and it's a square shape, we need to build this thing out for these edges. Come back and delete all of this later on, right? And now it's all source blocks. Very good. Not quite, though. Oh, yeah, we've got to go all the way... Actually, I think this is where we might need a bucket, because we're expanding it 1 block this way. What are you doing, says Mrs. Dig Dig. That sounds like I don't understand what you explained to me. I suppose you're making more space for drown to spawn inside the water in the river biome. Yes, that's correct. Just coming along for the ride. Missed yesterday's stream and choosing to watch this instead of Tango's VOD. Well, this is like the aftermath of Tango's VOD, I guess you could say. This is where we need 2 blocks across on this side. It's very difficult to see here. Now it's much easier. Well, do we need 3 blocks? Looks like I went out by 3 instead of 2. Whoops. Oh, wait. No, maybe it was just that I needed to use the bucket again. Oh, whoopsie. That's not the way to do it. Right, source blocks all the way across. Great. We will have... That's a good point, actually. This will leave some, like, water stream blemishes. Oh, big time. Haha. Had I thought about that first, I might have made the whole thing a little bit bigger. Because I guess our collection area will be. Yikes, what do I do? Do I make it all bigger? Because I might end up like messing this up and not really helping at all. I have to think about that. Actually, no, wait. They're inside, so that bit there gets corrected. So does all of that. It's just this bit over here that won't be. And that bit there. So if I made all of this here 2 blocks wider, and then that one 2 blocks wider, it would all be corrected, I think. I could be wrong. Let's see what we can do. Make it bigger. Well, I want to make it nice and clean, despite it being kind of wacky to begin with. See, that's 1 block too far. Okay, so now the operation gets a little bit bigger, I guess. Oh yeah, fill in the bottom, let the water go away, and then remove the floor again. That's an interesting idea, honestly. Rather than just get rid of the... I think I might prefer that. Actually, do you know what? This is probably about the same, if not less work. There's probably not, that's a good idea, but then you'd have to wait for it to drain, which will... I bet you that'll take way longer than you want it to. You're going to be hanging around for a while. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so we got this bit. That's good. We've just got to cover the angle like this here, and then we're good on that front. Except it might be a good idea to block that off first. I can use ice? For what? What can I use ice for? Okay, there we go. Done. I think. Let me double check this side though. Yeah, it doesn't come over any further there. That's good. That's good. Right, so all we've got to do is put in these blocks around the edge. Let's get a little bit more light down here. Big AX question, do you play Bedrock or Java? I play exclusively Bedrock and nothing else. It's water, it's fast, not lava. Oh, don't underestimate how slow water is when you drain a massive patch of it. Don't underestimate that one. It has a chain reaction. Where, like, when I say chain reaction, I mean like a slow reaction. A slow chain reaction. Hey, some of this here is river as well, so we're only really increasing the rates by doing this. If some of it isn't really used, that's okay. Now, all of that should, in theory, fill in. But it didn't? I thought it would have. Thought it would have in both directions. Well, there you go. Now, do I want to... I can't see a reason not to change this. I can't see a reason at all. I feel like one thing I do want to do is maybe keep this material here. Didn't we say we're going to build our platform higher up? Yeah, part of me now realizes that, like, this all being the same material would look a fraction nicer. Just a fraction. I wonder if I've got enough to replace it with netherrack without things spilling. You know what I mean? And then we put like a slab on top of it. I think we can. We could just keep it all the same material. That's all I really want here. That we're building something big, square, and ugly in the sky, but I'm at least going to make it look semi-clean. X, are you aware of the running joke that Skiz only reads chat when we say he doesn't? I am now. I think most streamers that works with, because unless you're like hyper fixated on your chat, you have to focus on other things. I bang on a lot about multitasking and how no one's good at it, and we think we can multitask, but we just split our attention. These streams are like an absolute example of it. In fact, I saw a really great video today that sort of like relates to this in a little bit. It's by that, some of you may know it, Healthy Gamer channel, Dr. K or whatever he calls himself, right? And the video's like why you shouldn't watch YouTube, and I thought this will be interesting. I've been on a bit of a kind of questioning of content and what's happening online lately, and this guy put together just a really interesting take on it all. You're not bashing Skiz, he's amazing. Skiz is indeed amazing. The Skizzle Man fan said that. That's no surprise. That's no surprise. No way, I was just watching that, says Didalo21. Yeah, man. I think he was absolutely spot on and really cut into a feeling that I've been having with consuming content lately. For those of you that have stuck around and heard me waffle on about my thoughts and feelings, you may recall that a while ago I talked about this quote that I heard, that happiness is enjoying the passage of time, and how much I've really liked that quote and how it's helped me to find a bit more peace in this life. And I think a symptom of it is that I've spent a lot of time trying to absorb self-help material when maybe I didn't really need that. And I mean, this is a video you should probably definitely 100% go watch for yourself, because he's articulated many different aspects of this idea very well. What's pins? What's going on now? Yeah, he highlights many different aspects on this. Why are you pinning that as a message? I don't know. Okay, back to it. Also, that's replaced my previous one, by the looks of it. Anyway. So one of the things they pointed out is that if you have this attitude of like thinking that you're being productive because you're spending absent idle time trying to self-improve, you're not like really committing to making those changes. And I noticed this myself, that like of all the type of content I consume, over time I've started to notice that a lot of it is kind of like momentary, and that if I'm actually going to get value out of the content, I really have to switch to like focusing on what it's telling me about and like you know, properly adding it. I was actually, it's kind of funny because just before starting the stream I was doing some chores and doing that thing that it kind of said you shouldn't do, but I paid proper attention to this video, and it gave me some exercises for my forearms which I hadn't tried before and wasn't aware of. And so I've got that like now written down in my workout routine. I've looked at the form, and that was doing it properly. That was taking in some passive watching and actually getting something out of it. But I think the other thing as well is just that there's a lot of anxiety around like self-improvement and self-help, and if you choose to like pick it up passively as a thing you think you need to do, when you don't make progress on it because it's basically entertainment, I feel that can have a bit of a passive effect on you. It's very distracting to try and talk about this while there's a riot in my chat. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so it's here that we need to pillar up and make it so that the bottom below us is the top of that farm. That's the idea. Sorry, go on X's Night Dads. Well, if y'all have got any follow-up thoughts, because I'm not particularly articulate right now. X, you should look at the book Against the Machine. I thought Rage was at the beginning of that sentence, and I was thinking, there's a band called that. It's possible. I ran out of listening hours on Spotify. I didn't realise that was a thing. I've been listening to audiobooks on there, right? And now, rather than buying them on Audible, I'm like, well, if they're included in Spotify, that's great. That's cheaper. But then I'm halfway through listening to Trevor Noah's book, which, by the way, is amazing. Born a Crime. Like, just... We'll talk about that in a second. I'm halfway through it, and then all of a sudden it tells me that I've run out of listening hours, and I'm like, I wasn't even aware of this. And then listening hours, they cost like 10 quid for 15, and I'm just like, oh, this is... You know, I'll take advantage of my free listening hours every month, but this isn't particularly advantageous, so might have to rethink what books I'm going to listen to. That happened to you too, yeah. You think the main thing about consuming content is how we are consuming it and with what intent? Yeah, that's it. That's to drill down what Dr. K was talking about, like this passive consumption, this idea of passive learning. It's not that helpful. We need to be more focused with our time and make things count. And I think I do that, but he definitely highlighted to me how much, and I'm already aware of it, how much stuff I actually don't as well. And that's made me feel like, okay, I need to sharpen up with my time. And again, get back to spending more time enjoying. Like, I've had some really good moods recently. Do you know why? Because I spent a couple of hours listening to music in a Minecraft world doing creative builds. And that is just exploring your own creativity, expressing it, and being in a state of mind where you're just focused on that. And I need to get more experiences like that into my day, as opposed to, you know, thinking you're doing one thing and then trying to passively learn with something else. It's just not a great thing. Just put on music when you're doing chores sometimes, you know, that's just how it works. Or an audiobook that's actually entertainment. I think the problem is when you think you're being productive and you're actually just being entertained, that then when the productivity doesn't come back round, it kind of just creates a sense of like wasted time that you like feel as opposed to realize. All right, so clearly I need to go a fair bit higher. Actually, no. We might have skipped a beat here. I need to press that before I'm in free cam. So I need to go here and do that. Well, apparently I only went up by like 4 blocks, if I saw that correctly. Wow, so many hotkeys. So many hotkeys to press. I'd say it's about another 10 blocks. Cool, Spotify have managed to monetize listening. That's the thing, says Cosmic Dancer. Well, to be fair, like, you know, that's the deal, isn't it? Like, you pay for content that you want to consume. There's just different levels of it. Sometimes when stuff is free, it means you're a part of the product. Like, to be fair, them giving you 15 hours of free audiobook listening as part of your membership, if you didn't know about it, feels like a bit of a bonus, right? It was just frustrating to realize that I just thought you got audiobooks with Spotify, and I was like, well, that's handy, sweet, I'll take that, you know. Right, I think that's good enough right there. I think we found the sweet spot. We got some hostiles now spawning below, which is not so great, so we'll need to clear them out. I should have probably left a few little light holes here and there somewhere. If you want free audiobooks, use LibriVox. It's all public domain. Oh, thanks for that. I'll have a little browse. I think I've done that before, but the problem is, a lot of the stuff that's free isn't like your bestsellers list. Like, I found when I look up lists for stuff I might be interested in, it tends not to end up in the 3 market. But, you know, maybe I need to look at that a bit better. How do you act creatively without feeling performance anxiety, says Mayor Otis. I think if you're feeling a bit of performance anxiety about something you're doing, I think you should find a way to like dip your toe in and then pull the toe out and then dip it back in again, and like soon the toe won't feel like anything and you'll be putting in half a foot, and then before long you'll be putting in your whole foot, and then before long you'll be fully submerged. But like what you're seeing right now, me just hanging out, not having performance anxiety, entertaining people, took years to get here. You know, there were times when I live streamed and felt nervous. There was times when I felt like I wasn't doing good enough or whatever, and it just takes time. You know, you can't expect to be good at something out of the gate. You have to work on these kind of things, right? The key to achieving anything is believing that you can't not achieve it. I feel like you double negatived there. Like you just said, the key to achieving anything is to believe that you can. That I like. That I like. Okay, what we're going to do next is take advantage of the shapes thing again. It's always a little tricky with the fast camera, but I think we're in the right spot. So we're going to go add a box, and then we're going to configure the corner like here. And then I think what we need to do is set these to 0.5, right? Now, does that one... Wouldn't it be typical if it didn't map to, like, me on this occasion? Right. Try it again. Now we're in the opposite corner. Let's enable it, by the way. I think it maps to where we are. So we do that. Do that. Right, now we've got a box, yeah? That tells us where that thing is, essentially. Where am I standing, by the way? Because do you remember we did this? Right? 664 3274. Which one's what? Hopefully I was clicking on the right one. 664 32. Didn't I say 3274? Yeah. Okay, that's our second one. Ah, yeah, then this number 2221. I've got to remember to do that. That's important because otherwise I'll make a mistake. Now, okay, we can see this box here. And I've turned off those other renders very specifically, right? If we go in here to this box and configure it like... $16, okay. Then the opposite side, like it's a little tricky to see it with all those menus there. Opposite side is this one, but I've got to... I did it wrong. Let's go double check that is correct. Yep. So now, whoops, now I know what I'm doing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Also, you can probably guess what we're going to do. We're going to do that. So we can see how big the box above it now needs to be, right? Getting super technical today, ain't we? Colleen, 37, thank you for 2 months with the Prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for the support. 4Gil, that's correct. That's what I thought it was pinned as. If you want to repin a message, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so if I clicked negative on that number, positive is the opposite side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then this would be negative. 1, 2. Okay, so this box shows us where we need to place blocks up the top here. But I'm probably not going to do that now. That's probably something we're just going to come back to later. We need to go one more that way. So that's one corner, and then we'll do the opposite. And then I can place those blocks later when we're grinding. X, did you ever watch any shows on Adult Swim like Harvey, Birdman, or Drinking Crow? I've seen a bit of Adult Swim, like Rick and Morty, and maybe a few others, but beyond that, I couldn't really tell you. Couldn't really tell you. Thank you, 4Gil. Appreciate it. Right, so that's our AFK spot. You can hear some fellas jangling their bones down below. What I think I want to do next is figure out where we're going to build the next platform. I kind of want to avoid... making this too difficult for myself. And I think what will help is having a few more light holes so that stuff isn't spawning in the day down there. I don't know how many we need, but if I space them out a bit, I'm sure we'll get some good coverage here. So now we shouldn't have that. You know, I think it gets... What is the light level down here? 0. Does it get dark? Wait, do we not need this platform? Does like the first 8 blocks of water make it... Oh my goodness me. Please don't tell me that's the case. Like the light level gets drowned out by the water. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. So we don't need that big box. We can actually just make it smaller if we want to. Huh. Except now we've positioned our thing up the top there. So if I didn't do that, right, if we started here, if we AFK'd here, and then we went down by like... Oh my god. Man, Minecraft is just such a like... such a back and forth of stuff all the time. Okay. In that case, we'll probably rip out this bit at the top. Would light come in from the side though, says Indistinct Chatter. Oh my god, that's probably it. That's probably why we need it. Okay, we're going to stick with this. We're going to stick with this. Indistinct Chatter, thank you. You just saved me a really big headache. Like I said, back and forth, right? Like, so much time when you're engineering things in this game. Goes for redstone as well. You, like, start changing something because that other thing doesn't work. And then you reintroduce the thing that doesn't work later on because you've been, like, rotating through ideas. It's a common thing that happens when you're redstone. Like, really smart people, I've seen them do their work. People like Cybot, you know, like they can just remember all the different edge cases, and that like helps you so much if you can remember that stuff. Okay, so right, we now need to just pick a height. That's all we got to do. So let's go to our 2 spawning spheres, right? It's really about how big do we want that to be. From there to there is where they're going to spawn. I think it can be bigger than that. That to me is about... what are we at? Y196 down to... Let's say we go a little bit lower. This is about 40 blocks. I was kind of honestly thinking 50 or 60. And I reckon... Let's go for like 64. A nice mathy number right there. Computer number. So... that one has a radius of 24. This one will be... Oh yeah, 56. No, wait. I don't know. Would it be 88? Right? Let's press F3. So you got 133 plus 64 would be about 197. So yeah, we've made it 64 blocks, right? And that's like 2/3 the distance, I think. I reckon that's pretty good. So we're gonna now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pillar up to the bottom here, and we're gonna build our platform that catches all the water around here. And I think in order to do that, we are going to want to. We never got any magma blocks. How about we build that portal? All the way up the top there. Let's do that. Let's build our nether portal. I feel like I'm doing this the long way. I'm just taking my time. Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Remember that thing about enjoying the passage of time. Right? Like, if you burden yourself with like, oh no, this isn't as productive as it could be. Yeah, you're going to have a bad time. I'm going to move this later on, by the way. This is just temporary. It is very temporary. Powerball says you do UX. I'm definitely doing me. By the way, peeps, if you're enjoying the stream, be sure to hit the follow button. I think my next stream was going to be on Saturday, but I'm going out Saturday morning. I'm switching around my routine a little bit because I tweaked my back. So I'm, well, I say I tweaked my back, not in a bad way. I just felt something, and actually, like since then, I've felt nothing. But I'm playing stuff super cautious these days, so skipping 2 back workouts. Might do a little bit of back Saturday. I'm going to run tomorrow. I'm like switching days around to give myself more rest. So if I go for a run, that's like really easy for me to stream. But if I'm working out and I got to go to the shops, and so my plan was Saturday. Now I don't know what it is, so I'm going to have to make it up as I go. This is supposed to be my plug for you to follow me on Twitch, so you can come back and. Oh look, did I do the math wrong? 80 instead of 100? How curious. That was my pitch for you to follow and catch my next stream. But now I'm like, I don't actually know when my next stream is because all my plans changed recently. That seems to be a common thing for me, is just plans keep chopping and changing, so whatever. You are streaming, entertaining chat, responding to us and trying to build this farm. Makes sense that productivity is slower. You're a human, not a machine. Yes, I am a non-multitasking human. You're absolutely correct. Did I like maybe dig to 100 instead of minus 100? Oh, probably. Probably. Let's press F3. And now these people in chat will be like, oh, dope. And I'll be like, where were you when I was digging to the wrong place? Where were you? I'm like 40 blocks off as well. Yes, I was, okay, I went the wrong direction. I should have gone this way. Fair enough. All the way over there. I think we'll do that later. That being said, I kind of want to go back to the overworld now. Oh well. We'll do it the flying way. Best plug ever. I may unfollow and refollow just for that. Thanks. Right, now we drift. Now we drift. Will you be helping with the Nether tunnels on Sunday? Oh, what's that? There's a thing on Sunday? I guess if I'm around, I might. Depends what time of day it is, actually. Is it like hermits helping hermits? Tell me more. Tell me more. I need to know. Gem is arranging things you think. Okay. We'll see, we'll see. Sunday at suntime. Suntime? Or sometime? Hey look, Tango placed a few more blocks. Look! He's been placing blocks. We can see him come into existence. Decked out 3 is insane. The scale of this. I just feel like after 1, 2 had a lot of hype, right? And it feels like, you know, upping it from there. You know, it's a hard job, bless him. But the way it kind of feels like it's way beyond expectation. What is that? That's interesting. There's like dirt pillars for some sort of structure. Why are we flying back? Wait, actually, I kind of want to go to the Nether because I never got magma blocks, right? Was that it? I think, yeah, the next thing I needed to place was magma blocks and I never picked them up. I never picked up the magma blocks. I do not have a supply. Great. Just great. So we got to go mine magma blocks, which means that'll be on my hotbar. Probably got all we need, really, for that job. Maybe put on a golden helmet? Or leggings, whatever it is I have. Whatever I rock and roll with, homie. Down to rock and roll, fella. you know, when in the Nether, what goes there? Oh, flint and steel. Flint and steel goes there. Korean mega base. He's not doing a giga base or a peta base, just a mega base. Oh, that's so 2020. God. Right. Oh, yeah, the Nether. I just got to pick a Nether portal. Might as well use mine. So, you remember that shape that we built? I could have used it to perhaps calculate how many stacks we needed. I think we need about 6 stacks, but we'll get 8. And then we'll be on the safe side a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, I know where I'm going to go to get this stuff. Maybe not. Maybe not. How do we get to the old Nether hub? Have we still got like an access thing to that? I do feel like most of that's redundant. However, there were some useful vertical tunnels for going like up and down. Like all this tinted glass is blocked off the way down. Also Hoglin Head. This looks a bit more... maybe it doesn't go down. That doesn't go anywhere. You know what side is open? The side to the right here. Inside the central portals. No, no! Thank you so much. Hey, there it is. That's pretty sweet. And Karakan Draco has gifted a sub to Lucifer Jean. Thank you for gifting the sub. Oh, there it is. There it is. I was like, hang on, does this go down? Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for gifting the sub. Let's play the animation. Animation! Right, where to? Down here. That's the way. Just joined. What did I miss? Mostly figuring out the sort of ins and outs of the project and actually misbuilding a nether portal. We built a nether portal in the wrong place, so that was a waste of time. Wings are looking okay-ish. Just checking on those wings. Where to? I think nether wastes is probably the better biome for this. And now we're starting to get some. Here we go. This is the spot. This is the spot right here. Alright, 8 stacks, I said. Might get a few more if it's nice and easy. Alright, it's conversation time. What did we put a pin in earlier? I remember an audiobook that I was listening to, right? Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. I got a recommendation. I know who this guy is. I know he was on like an American late night TV show. That's literally like all I knew about this guy. And his book is awesome. It is a really like interesting and personal window to growing up during apartheid in South Africa. And I know what apartheid is in the way that I've been taught it in the history books. But he does such a beautiful job of like explaining it all from a very different perspective. And it is wonderful to be able to listen to an audiobook and like broaden your perspectives like that, because it reminds you of your own ignorance. I thought I knew what apartheid was about, right? I thought I knew some stuff about it, and listening to his audiobook kind of made me feel like I don't know anything about this. Born a Crime, that's the one. Yeah, it's honestly fantastic. And listening to him narrate it, like, I love the little voices he does of like himself and other people when he's a kid. There's like a little charm to it that's just really cool. But I can't recommend it enough, because I love these autobiographicals because they take you into other people's worlds. But sometimes you go into other people's worlds and you don't even know how much stuff you don't know. And this really like illuminated to me how you're taught about things that happen in the world from a certain perspective. Like in the book, there's a chapter called Go Hitler, because he has a South African friend whose name is Hitler. And this is because they have to pick an English or like a Western name. And they're not taught history the same way we are. And Hitler was just some guy who was in World War II and was famous or whatever. And so they, yeah, his friend was just called Hitler. And like, no one thought twice. And if you think about it, if you're not taught about World War II, why would you know? How would you know? And it highlights that, like, us Westerners have a very Western perspective on the world, right? How could you not know who Hitler was and what he did? How could you call someone Hitler? Like, why would you pick that name? It's only if you're educated that way, right? And so it's just such an experience to, like, learn more about the world and broaden your understanding. And I've always enjoyed that, but like, you don't always know that you're going to seek it out or where to seek it out, and then you stumble across like something like a really cool audiobook, and it's great. It's great. What book? Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Highly recommend it. I haven't even finished it, and I have to wait like a week till I get my audio hours, and then I can continue listening. So it's on hold for a little bit, and I think that's going to make it all the sweeter when I start listening to it again, you know? So I'm going to be like, right, back into the adventure. But I love autobiographies. That's been my thing lately. Of all the audiobooks that I've enjoyed, I've tried a few novels. I've tried some sci-fi stuff. Education, self-help, like, whatever it is, autobiographicals seem to hit the best for me. Even the bad ones are, like, pretty good compared to some other stuff I've enjoyed. So, I've definitely found something I really like. This stuff feels a little bit risky. Isn't this stuff called rhenium? I just had like a bit of a flashback. I remember watching a Ren stream or something. There's a German movie called The Name where a couple wants to name their child Hitler and the entire discussion starts. Only for them to reveal it was a prank. Ah. Yeah, I mean, usually if someone's like, oh, I want to call my kid Hitler, you're like, you're probably going to be like, I think you're looking for trouble. I don't know. It's hard to imagine a world in which we're like, okay, let's just, you know, let's make that name acceptable again. Like, I do believe that things do need to become the past at some point, and like words, their meaning will change and stuff. But like, where does that start for a name like Hitler? You know, probably. Imagine like thousands of years into the future, and everything we're doing right now like fell apart, and there's some like tribe of scavengers wandering through the wreckage, and I don't know, they find a picture of some guy in the book, and they're like, Hitler, you know, guy from the past, and they call themselves Hitler, and it's like, but they, you know, they didn't read the whole book. Like, we've forgotten about all this stuff, you know. People in the future might not even remember World War II and World War I, right? Can you imagine that? This is what happens. Stuff gets lost to time. It's something I think about with great art and great music. Did I say that just the other stream? Like, kids today, they've already forgotten about Dre, you know? What a tragedy. They've been born forgetting about Dre. They act like they forgot about Dre because they don't even know who Dre is. Some of you don't even know who Dre is. And some of you are like, what is this guy on about? Because you don't even know what the joke is. You know what I mean? That's just life. That stuff that was everything when you were young, you know, there'll be no one who knows one day. One day there'll be like no one who knows what Minecraft is. That's how it works. Time is cruel. Hey, we found our way back, so that wasn't too bad. And we got plenty of stacks, so that's really good. Do you think Jem knows who Dre is? I don't think so. I when we talk about when culture's been brought up, I know Jem doesn't watch a lot of movies, and I'm not sure she's much of a like a music nerd like myself. So it's quite possible. It's quite possible. Maybe this is something we need to find out. Like, who in Hermitcraft has forgotten about Dre? Yo, Foxy31 and Godzilla. Thank you so much for 6 months. Zero, thank you for 2 months as well. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Oh wait, this is my tunnel? Okay. Where am I going to, by the way? I need to go dig that other tunnel, don't I? Do they know what a Walkman even is? Technology is another example of things people forget. It's why I like I've forgotten what I was going to say. Why I like history and stuff, learning about the past, all these things that happen. They sometimes they just shine a light on today. You know, like you think something happening today is like new and novel and is unique to this moment in history, but actually turns out, we've done that before, you know. That ain't as new as you think it is. There are still descendants of Hitler's brothers / cousins. There was a rumor that those descendants were intent not to procreate. But apparently that is not true, so there's still definitely Hitlers out there, although you can't blame people for their lineage. That would basically make you Hitler. Yeah, that would, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't believe in inheriting the sins of our fathers, as they might poetically put it. That being said, I think you can acknowledge that you have a position of privilege or an advantage over others because of historical things. I don't think anyone should be punished for that. It is a very difficult thing to address, though. But I just, yeah, I couldn't tell you why. It just that feels like that's the way it should be, right? Like, you're born and you don't choose anything about where and how you're born. So like, why should you be punished for something some other people did? At the same time, you know, you have those advantages and stuff. So that's why I feel like education is important, because you can't just ignore it. But I don't think you can impose it on someone and tell them what it should be or shouldn't. Am I going in the wrong direction? I am, yeah. How about the sound your radio makes when receiving a text message on the buzzer? Oh, that bibbity bib 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 bib. Yeah, I haven't heard that for a long time. I haven't really been around a radio, I guess. You know, it might be easier going in this direction because it's all netherrack, but it's also easier because we're going in the right direction. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you know what I am saying? I love that episode of South Park. I want to rewatch some South Park at some point. When I'm done with Better Call Saul, I'm going to watch some movies, and then I think I'm going to get myself access to, like, HBO and Paramount, and then, like, go through some of those classics. Oh, you've come across the Metal Evolution documentary on VH1. Was that... I don't think that was a VH1 thing. It must have got... was it VH1 even still going when that was made? Metal Evolution was like around 2007, 2008, I think. Maybe a little later than that. That was like... I remember... I've got it on DVD now to think about it. Those were really good documentaries, especially if you want to get into metal and learn about its history. I thought that guy did a really good job of it. The only thing, though, he had a bit of like a stick up his bum about nu metal, if I remember correctly, which, I mean, right now, nu metal's in again. The younger generation love it, which is crazy. VH1 still exists apparently. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that thing, if it's associated with VH1, it's like they got the rights to air it or something. I do not think he produced. I think he self-produced, like got funding somehow. Like, it's not a VH1 thing. It's not their show, that's for sure. Violation says I love nu metal. Lol. How old are you? That's what you got to say though. You got to be like, I love nu metal, but I wasn't, you know, a millennial. Oh, wait, look, that's the portal. That's the portal right there. Well, we'll go and correct that one in a second. I'm gonna, well, I could actually put it over there, but I'm gonna put it at the 100. Which technically, actually, that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I should figure out its exact thing and link it directly. But we'll do that later now. Also, that could do with going away. You love scent anger. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Not so sure about that one. Oh. Wait, no, that did generate... Okay, sorry, that is... For some reason, I thought it generated a new one. You love new metal, but you're also a millennial, so never mind. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it was the music of our teen years, right? Or the fact that your dad didn't rewind the game cassette tape on your Commodore 64. Old technology right there. Old tech, old tech. Where is Tango? Shouldn't you continue with the farm? Well, I invited him to come over if he wanted to. It's up to him. He's probably got some other stuff going on. Let's go ahead and bring up... not that one, actually. Oh, are they already on? Do I just have to enable it? That's what I need to do. Let's also turn off the biome now. We don't really need that on the screen, do we? I probably don't need that either. I've got a lot of noise going on. Right, so now what we do is we get down to the bottom of that bit and then pillar up. This might be quite nasty, actually. If I don't... Yeah, okay, I need to make some adjustments here. Let's get some rockets. I know what I need to do. Don't worry. We need light on the outside of the farm as well, I believe. So like the outside would be there. Uh-huh. And here. Uh-huh. Maybe there. Anyone remember Job for a Cowboy? I do. I like to play Entombment of a Machine on my guitar every now and then. Man, that was crazy. I loved that band. Like, I loved that song got everyone riled up. All the metal elitists getting their knickers in a twist. It was just something new, something different, something fun. I thoroughly enjoyed deathcore at the time. Don't listen to it much anymore at all, though. You love Job for a Cowboy. Their last album was pretty solid. I kind of lost interest when they went death metal. Like, they were like stealth. They were using like the scene to get in and then do what they really wanted to do. But for me, it was like, you know, death metal's like done and done for me. There's very little that you can do death metal anymore that's like particularly interesting, in my opinion. I mean, you can enjoy it, it's great, but like there isn't a lot of wiggle room to do new stuff in that genre. And so when they sort of came out and it was like, oh, we're actually just death metal, it's like, oh well, you know, there's plenty of that already, fellas. I was kind of liking this other stuff you were doing. Now don't cause me hassle, you. I want to get through this next bit smoothly, if possible. Oh, for goodness sake. Now, what's annoying about that is that it might have left like a single block, and it didn't. That's good. Okay. This might actually... Oh my goodness me. Oh, it's like my throat had just been going dry without me even noticing it. Yo, Trev138, thank you for 4 months with the Prime. Thank you for your support, dude. Oh, hope you don't mind the old coughing right there. My mute button is like really awkwardly positioned, so I tend to now just like lean away, lean in the other direction and cough. But I've had a little like tickly throat thing for a while. And a lot of the time, it's just like the throat going dry, and it just went really dry then. Oh god, it's doing it again. Oh, that was really bad. Maybe a small break is needed. I'll tell you what, I'm going to stand up and now I'm going to need a wee. Because I'm an old man. Right, I'm going to nip to the toilet, peeps. I will be speedy. Oh. That one smelt right like Sugar Puff. Bowl selector. Oh. Need to drink some more water. Craig David here. Thank you for the webbers. Let's get back into it. Might be in a spot of bother. Hopefully not now. Yep, despawn. Despawn. Right, we got to hop in. Maybe eat a bit more food first. Oh, what about that theory that we had earlier, by the way? See, we got a hole here, somewhere here, letting in light down at this level, right? So here the light is 14. Yep, and then it lets it bleed inwards. Brilliant. Brilliant. We almost made a big mistake undoing our hard work. Am I good now? No more coughing fit. I don't know. I reckon it might just come back in a moment. Right, don't be annoying. Shamon. Hee, Shamon, brother. Oh, are you being annoying? I said no. I said no. Basically, it can catch me up, is the problem. Check at the corner. Ow! That is the most joyous character ever created, I swear. If ever I need to just die with laughter, I can watch the Michael Jackson character. Hey, there we go. They're making a Michael Jackson movie, aren't they? Like a, you know, they did Bohemian Rhapsody, and they've been doing these. I think there's like Rocket Man for Elton John. They've been doing these like really well executed. They've all got like a similar vibe to them, sort of stories of past musicians, and they do the thing where they like really cleverly recreate the concert, and you can see everyone in the crowd. Oh, there's 4 Beatles movies coming. Oh my god, and Nirvana. Wow. Wow, yeah, I guess they'll start to... That can happen, right? And I bet not all of them are going to be good, right? Ignoring all the controversial bits, too. To be fair, I don't think it's that kind of movie, right? It wouldn't make sense to include all of that. But yeah, one of the things in it I noticed is that I remember, like, when you used to watch videos of Michael Jackson concerts, you'd see, like, all these screaming fans and, like, people passing out and going over the top. And it made it look like there was something crazy going on, you know? Michael Jackson's just that insane. And I kind of realized when I saw it in the trailer for that movie that that's actually, like, a side effect of how things were at the time. Like, the health and safety standards and crowd control was totally different back in the 80s and early 90s. It wasn't until the boom of festival culture in the noughties that they started to put in the barriers and rearrange how like crowd control is done. So it used to be that everyone just got absolutely squashed down at the front, and people would just pass out and then get passed over the top, and you'd see all those fans just like before Michael Jackson's even started playing, they're just passing out and going over the top. But it's like that was just because they kind of did that the wrong way, you know, the crowd control. What goes here in the tool chest? There's something missing. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what goes there. That's weird. Huh. Maybe I'll figure it out eventually. Shears? No. Well, shears aren't in there, which is interesting. But, like, at what point did they go missing, then? Right, anyways, we are going to now go pillar up after we do the water. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do the water first. So we're going to come in here and sort the water out now. And let it all flow down, and then it'll be a nice old cube shape. Just got to make sure not to break any of this border here. Kind of looks like I missed one over here, but it's actually on the other side. I was alive back then. There was way more of a monoculture that everyone knew. Much more focused and intense than today. Much more going on than crowd control. When you say monoculture, I know what you mean. There's less diversity in culture. We have a lot of diversity in culture today. There's just so many niches you can get into. Whereas back then, yeah, people's interests, things they knew about, they would talk about, that would be a lot more... like a narrower range of things, right? And there's positives and negatives to it, spinning both ways. I think one of the things that we lack is like an ability to get on with strangers easier, because we're all just like got these weird, siloed, algorithmically driven pictures of what's going on in the world, and less of like a common thing that's happening for all of us at all times. Okay, next thing is to like spot where the water is flowing down. Kind of looks like it might have just finished coming down to the bottom, so we should be able to reliably pillar up on the side here without breaking anything. And get rid of that. Oh, hello! Yeah, look, a bunch of troublemakers are hanging out here. Yeah, that'll do. Stay away! I just want to pillar up. Thanks. We are exceptionally siloed now, says Pitching Rocks. I agree, yeah. Entertainment and media was much smaller then. You only got it in smaller measurable doses, and only when you made the effort to find it. Yeah, like, you remember you used to have to, like, tune in at a certain time to watch the show you wanted to watch? Things change, but I do feel like perhaps the last 20 years or so of technological progress has unraveled a little too fast for us to keep up with. Information today moves so much faster that means that trends disseminate, ingest, saturate, and grow old. Yeah, they do. Okay, so what we need is now a border again around the outside at this level, and then we go below to place the next set of blocks. Is kind of the idea. So we'll go ahead and do this one. Netherrack again. We were never meant to have this much access to media. Well, how much access should we have? Because, you know, like, without any technology, if you go back to just zero technology, you'd have zero. So, like, how much? Right? How much is an acceptable amount? Because I bet if you ask someone who was born in, like, 1850, they would tell you in the 90s you had too much. You know? My nan used to tell me, oh, you know, when the first television came out, there were only like 1 or 2 channels. And then in the 80s, there was like 5. And then when I was growing up, there was loads. And now it's not even channels, it's just content. You can just click a button and play whatever content was once played on those channels. Whatever episode. You can skip to the bit you want as well. You don't have to watch the whole thing. It's crazy. It's crazy technology. If there was no technology, there'd be no Hermitcraft. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we've got too much technology, said over Twitch, the streaming platform. You know, you get the idea. You get the idea. I mean, people in the Middle Ages used to watch hangings for fun. YouTube videos might be better than that. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, great point. Oh, hilarious. Literally hilarious. I love it. See you later, fool. Is what I said. Some of us wouldn't be around about medical technology, says Heart Gamer. Yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's not all one type, is it? There's all sorts of stuff. Some good, some bad, some amazing. My throat is about to kill me again. Oh my god. Jesse Asaurus says, I think that's why newer generations don't know as much as about old media. Jesse, I think you just created a graph in my mind, which is like, if you're born, let's say in the 1950s, like, you know probably a larger percentage of stuff that came before you. Well, maybe not actually, because you have to learn about that somewhere. I don't know. But I get it. It's like, as we create more and more, it's harder to like get a fuller picture of what came before you. So like, maybe there's this curve where like, the further into the future you are, the further back your knowledge of stuff goes because so much is being created. Like maybe in 2050, like no one watches anything old anymore. Like AI just creates whole shows for you and stuff. And it's like, why would I watch that old stuff? You know, I'm just going to watch whatever AI creates for me today. Like, it could get to something like that, right? And maybe, I'm assuming something here, but maybe people in the past, when there was less media, things would stick around for longer, right? So you would know about more things that transpired a little while ago. Because I remember, when I was a teenager, I felt like I found out a fair bit about stuff from years gone by. Like you would dig out old TV shows, like Monty Python and things like that. I'm not sure how much of that there is going on today. Of like classics still being known about. I gotta move. I was thinking about this in regard to music earlier, but we still listen to classical music. Right, but 100 years ago, we probably listened to a fair bit more, maybe? I don't know, actually. I could be wrong about that because Spotify makes it very easy to access stuff like that. But the general rule of thumb is kind of like that stuff has its moment and then it fades over time. Like bands that were once really big, people lose interest over time, right? Young people come along, they're into different stuff. But then there's also this like lock-in effect for certain bands, like the Beatles ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they've just sort of like been in the perfect place in time and history to just cement themselves. I don't think that the Beatles' music, like itself, warrants their status, if that makes sense. Same for anything I love, honestly, like Michael Jackson as well. I don't actually think there's something that special. I do think the music is special, don't get me wrong. I do think that there's talent and just something incredible going on. But I think it's just sometimes just a combination of right place, right time. And it's almost like maybe they fill a space that we desire culturally. Culturally, we need like a touchstone to point at and go, this is the pinnacle, right? And we find it. And if it weren't the Beatles, it would be someone else, possibly from around that time. So it's like, sometimes it's just things fill a space. And so, like, with like Metallica, right? They're just the band that rose to the top of metal and solidified their position. Because now, if people get into metal, you're going to get into Metallica. It's just like part of the culture. And they've kind of just managed to stick themselves at the top, relentlessly tour and hold on to that position, you know, and build that legacy. And it's very hard to imagine other bands in that world, in that genre, coming in today and actually building that. One of the big surprises, honestly, was Slipknot. Slipknot becoming as big as Slipknot became. I mean, for the amount that me and my mates loved them, it made total sense to us. But, like, that was actually kind of surprising to see Slipknot become such a huge headlining band. I also think the way they changed their sound over the years helped a bit too with that. Anyways, point being that there's only going to be so much room for your Metallicas and your Beatles and your Michael Jacksons, right? You can't have 1,000 bands as big as Metallica. It doesn't work that way. There's only going to be like so much room for that stuff. And I think some bands just end up slipping into that space. And I don't always think it's about how amazing their music is. But that's not to say that Metallica just happened to, you know, be in the right place at the right time. You need all the elements to align. They did write absolutely incredible music as well, right? Most metalheads, you know, don't like Metallica. That sounds like some picky elitists right there. I've been around some of those crowds. I mean, maybe it's changed a bit because when I was young and in the metalhead crowd in that community, Metallica were massive for us, but it feels like over the past maybe 15 years or so, I've seen them more and more in mainstream environments. And that was kind of the unexpected thing. Like when I was a teenager, hearing you wouldn't have heard Enter Sandman being played at the Super Bowl, right? Or at a football game. That was just did not happen. Whereas now, I bet some of y'all have heard them play Metallica at football games and stuff, right? I bet loads of y'all have heard that. When I was young. Yeah, man, when I was young. I'm an old git now. Basically. That's just life. You get old. Deal with it. I think I might need a block there to make this work. Yep. There's just so many metal bands to pick from now. Yeah. And like all the ones that aren't even active and stuff, right? I mean, there were loads of metal bands in the scene that I was listening to when I was a teenager that just aren't active anymore. People have forgotten about them. There's all these new bands now, and they'll get forgotten about too. It's weird. They had a huge Fortnite collab a while back. Yeah. Not too keen on that kind of thing, but whatever. Linkin Park all day long. Linkin Park were absolute smash when I was in school. Like, everyone loved Linkin Park, even the people that didn't like metal. You can find a subgenre and find hundreds of bands in that sub. Yep. And that I think has gotten even more interesting with the advent of Bandcamp, because Bandcamp is just an absolute like niche market driver. But like the amount of, if there's some weird combination of like metal that you like, it's probably on Bandcamp, and there's a whole scene. Bandcamp just, I don't know how it's just managed to foster so much more unique niche music. You think people in the long term can spot honesty? Trends don't need to be honest, but long term to survive, you think there needs to be some element of honesty or depth. I think I kind of get what you're saying, but I've seen some hustlers and grifters out there stick around for a long time too, you know? There's a sucker born every minute. Who said that, eh? Probably a sucker. Only a sucker would say something like that, right? And this one time at Bandcamp. Oh my god. Oh my god. Have I ever been on Bandcamp and thought of American Pie before? I'm not sure, but now I have a feeling I'm always going to think about it. Thanks for that. Do I have a favourite band? Dimmu Borgir, greatest band of all time. There's no question about it. Your new favourite thing is Serbian Darkwave. Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, the thing with that, though, is, like, Darkwave is Darkwave, and if it's Serbian, like, what's Serbian bringing to the table other than being from Serbia? How do you spell that? Dimmuborgir. Dimmu Borgir. A.K.A. Demon Burger. Have I ever listened to Skillet? Yeah, they're one of those bands that I listened to and didn't really like, but someone always asks me. Alien Ant Farm Smooth Criminal is better than Michael Jackson's. Nah. It's a banger. It's great. I'm glad it exists. I love it. It brings a smile to my face, but oh man, the original Michael Jackson song. That to me is probably the most nostalgic of his songs, because I grew up in a time before you could just type it in on a computer to hear it, right? When I was a kid, when I was young, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, and like a lot of kids in the 90s, you just loved Michael Jackson's music. I wasn't aware of Smooth Criminal. I never saw the video, but I would hear it out and about. And it always used to fascinate me, that bass line. Dum, da, 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 dum, dum, da, 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 dum, dum. And I was like, what is this song? And then I found an arcade game of Michael Jackson's with the same music, right? And I was just like, what is this? Like, what is this Michael Jackson song? And then at some point when I was older, I don't know when, I actually like understood, oh right, it's a song with a big music video, and now I can just watch it on YouTube or whatever, right? That one. We're gonna have to pick this up, fly somewhere else, or maybe just go over to this corner. That might work. That'll work. The arcade game of MJ. Yeah, it's the one with the isometric perspective. There were some like Mega Drive games and stuff he had that were sort of based on the same movie, Moonwalker, but oh, that might be the name of the game actually, Moonwalker. Have you ever cried to a celebrity death? I'm not sure that I cried, but Michael Jackson's passing definitely like messed with my head a bit. I remember where I was and what I was doing. I was actually on Facebook. But then all of a sudden, like, it started spreading, and like, it's like MJ's died, and it's like, what? And then I remember just going to this absolute weird funk of just like non-stop watching his videos on YouTube, and like doing that with friends as well, sort of like mourning together, and the whole thing was like really weird. You cried to David Bowie, Prince, and Neil Peart. Yeah, I was never, I wasn't around, didn't really know Prince's or Bowie's music very well when those died. I've now listened to a fair bit of Bowie and absolutely love it. One of my favourite songs of his is Let's Dance, but I absolutely love the Puff Daddy redo that they did with Mace. It's like, I'm not gonna say like Puff Daddy took it to the next level or anything like that. No. I just love hearing people rap over that beat for some reason. We kind of don't need these anymore, which is cool. And we can turn Mini HUD off for the time being. So now it's all about rails and then powering them. I kind of forgot about that. We'll probably put a bunch of like redstone blocks in next. So we're going to have our own little working platform here. I think I might expand the amount of stone so that the minecart goes outside the farm a little bit. It comes underneath the netherrack. Shout out to my Gen X brethren that had to wait until after 11 PM one night a week to watch videos on Friday night videos. Pre-MTV media was wild. Awesome, man. Awesome. Good memories, I imagine. I kind of miss that. I kind of miss like coming home and watching MTV and stuff, but it's not a miss, like, things should go back to that. It's just, you can kind of look at, oh, that's what goes in that toolbox. Oh my god, of course. The thing that is sitting outside next to it. It makes so much sense. I kind of like miss the upside of it. Like, that time for me wasn't particularly the happiest. It's easy to forget all of that, like the bad bits, and just remember the good bits. One thing of like interest for me lately, a little bit of a nostalgia buzz that some of my fellow millennials out there will probably know. YouTube's kind of pulled me into a bit of a WWE algorithm, but like when it was WWF, it keeps throwing up like videos from like 97 to 2001, which is probably around the time I was watching it. Not a lot of it, not a crazy amount. Like I watched a history video on like the history of that era, and I realized that I probably only really watched wrestling for like 1 or 2 years tops and then grew out of it. When you were 13, yeah, literally probably when I was 13, I like watched it. Stone Cold and The Rock, that was like the peak of when I was watching. And my favorite memory was watching a Royal Rumble where Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, they go outside of the ring and they're like around the arena, but like they both left the ring in a way that meant they were still a part of the fight or something. And like that's just this one memory I have of it. But yeah, I'm not like singing its praises and saying like you should go back and watch this stuff or anything like that. It's just, it's funny how like YouTube sussed me out and it's like, you have millennial nostalgia. Well, YouTube knows a heck of a lot about me. I'm not surprised. Like the moment I take interest in it, it knows what age demographic I am. It knows what's going on. Dang, I need some more redstone. I don't want to keep flying back and forth all the time. I guess we got the Nether to go around now. That's still a bit awkward. Let's get some redstone. It'll be fine. It's like almost enough just to use one rocket to get up there. Ugh. Anyway, any other oh, the Von Erichs. Yo, Grog. There's a film I believe on Netflix about the Von Erichs, and it was amazing, and I would highly recommend it. Rowdy Piper, I remember that. I remember looking, actually when I was younger, when I was probably like 10, 9, 8, I had a childminder and their kids had like WWF toys and books. So I remember like seeing pictures of that era as well. And there were lots of weird, like there was a couple of clown characters. This is actually when apparently WWF was not doing very good back then. WCW was on top. Badger Spanner, thank you for 82 months. Welcome to the stream, Badger. Appreciate it. Doink the Clown. That sounds like it. Doink the Clown. Mankind cage match? Yeah, Mankind was legendary. But yeah, I was really big into it for like a year, and then I kind of like pretty swiftly grew out of it, I remember. But it used to be like coming home from school and watching MTV, and there'd be like Limp Bizkit, and then you'd watch some wrestling, and it was silly. X, you don't have water source at the bottom. Won't the items just flow to the top? Yeah, you got a point there. I think we might end up putting in a couple of rows of water sources at the bottom. That is a good spot. That is a very good spot actually, because unless the minecart is directly below, hi Gem. Unless the minecart is directly below, it's not going to pick it up, right? Mr. X, I'd like to know if you're doing well today. I feel good, but wait, is this my bit? Oh, I'm glad I didn't just straight up walk through there. Ah, thank you, Gem. There we go. Wait. Am I? That's not the exact bit though, right? I'm somewhere there. Hook up to that if you can. Yeah, I'll like claim a spot here. I'll add some like stairs and open it up and make it look a bit more like official. And this will be like my little ways in here, I think. We can grab a couple of blocks while we're here and do that. And then I might move the portal later on as well. We'll see. Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Korn, Rage Against the Machine, Tool, you know it, you know it. Whenever I went to a power cable, I'd spend the whole time flicking through the music video channels. I miss those days when music channels still have music on them. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I miss it too, but like I'm kind of aware of how I probably wouldn't go back to doing that. Like watching stuff on demand. I think what I miss most is actually like watching it with friends though. Right? Like you have great memories of just hanging out, you know, on the couch, just watching music for ages. X, if you had to emigrate from England or whatever reason, what thing no people would miss the most about England? What would we not miss? Oh, dang it, I forgot to get some blocks. What thing would we not miss about England? Probably the weather. And the potholes. Oh my god. I swear, not just where I live, driving into London the other day, I have hit some crazy potholes recently. The roads seem to be getting really bad. The Xisuma can't read. Oh, what did it say then? Oh, it's the thing I would miss most. Probably the weather. I really like the British weather. And also the quality of our roads are really good too. I'd miss that. I mean, yeah, like I just feel like these questions, I don't know where people reach to for answers, but if I'm like to give you the most direct answer, it's like I'm just gonna miss my day-to-day routine, right? Like I have a very nice like structure and environment around me that I enjoy being in, and so it's like that will be eroded if I go away, and that's it. But if you want me to say something like I'm gonna miss my I don't know, Greg's sausage rolls, you know, I don't think like that. You know what I mean? I'm not like that. If you ask me what animal I'd be, human's an animal, right? I'll be that. I'm pretty familiar with that. I'd be a polar bear. Oh, I don't know. I'm just not cut out for those sorts of questions. Ha! Bird's custard. I missed my custard. Right, there is a middle to this. I know that because we aligned the farm with an actual middle up here. The question is, can we figure out what it is down below? I think we can because of this. It is 64.5. Let's just press that button. 64.5, which is where I am. So it's that right there that I now wish to convert. And that's correct, yeah. Right, so all of those are going to be the powered ones, basically. I know the road's bad. Life all too well. Louisiana roads are horrible. There's a reason my dad refused to drive his BMW 550i into New Orleans. Interesting, yeah. When I watch stuff like Better Call Saul, you got those like really long roads. Like you become aware of like how big America is and how just well, absolutely massive and spread out stuff is. But you got like these big roads that connect everything. And I noticed the roads when I watch TV shows, they always look pretty decent. And I'm like, are they actually that good? Surely they can't be that good. Surely they got some ropey roads somewhere. Also, like, why haven't we solved potholes yet? Like, honestly, where is material science at? Are we just not investing as much into R&D as we should? Because I feel like potholes should be a solved problem by now. I will say weirdly the food is better in the US, especially the fruit and veggies. Depends where in the US you are though. It's all like supply chain stuff. Like when I was in New York, like you're at the docks. You're where the food comes in fresh, man. Some of the fruit you could get there was fresh as. I imagine if you went and lived near the coast in England, you, depending on where, you'd possibly be closer to fresher food, you know? In Texas, you can drive for 10 hours and still be in Texas. Yeah. That's crazy. I'd love to travel through America. I was looking at a Route 66 holiday, and then I kind of like realized you're going to be sat on your bum driving a lot. If they did standing cars, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. I kind of feel like we might actually need more than we'll probably put in like 5 powered rails side by side and be fine, right? That'll work. What could go wrong? Gonna need more powered rails and regular rails. Got hardly any of those. Yeah, I'm thinking that, and then they come and swing back round again. It might be better to actually space these out a bit and have like 3 rows of red. Space them out a little bit. You could just hike across America at that point. Not sure you know what you're saying, honestly. Just hike across America. That might be a bit naive. The old just hike across America routine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put a row here as well, they'd all be spaced out 4 apart each time. I like that. That's the way we're going to do it. Right, so I've got to get under there again. Let me under. What I need is a trapdoor. Which means I need a crafting bench and some wood. One, 2, 3 is all we need. And I somehow got 2! Could have swore I clicked 3 times. As a civil engineer, I will chime in here on the asphalt pothole issues. It is a balance of cost and quality. The lower bidder gets the contract. You want to do good work, but you don't want to get outbid. Richer states will have better roads. Texas interstates are continuously reinforced concrete pavement. That went off the screen. Let's see if I can get that back. States with less money will use joined plain concrete, pavement or asphalt. Yeah, that, you know, everything you said makes total sense. There's the money and cost aspect of it. It feels like one of those things where, like, technology is supposedly going to keep getting better, right? But it just feels like roads haven't changed since I was a kid. At least here in the UK, it doesn't feel like you've noticed the roads get better. It's the same old problems, and when there's less money, they get worse, and when there's more money, they get a bit better. But, like, where's that technology that comes along and makes that thing redundant? Maybe it's just not a universally applicable idea, but, you know, technology has a history of making the way you did it before redundant at some point, and it hasn't happened with that yet. Flying cars can solve that issue, well, unless we end up with potholes in the sky, you know? But I don't think we will. Yeah, honestly, like flying cars, if we ever figure that one out. Limestone concrete fixes itself. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's do this one next. They're called helicopters. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Something scalable. I'm going to be getting a new car soon. Not exciting. I'm not like a, oh, new car person. It's just like, I've had this car for almost 10 years. And I think it's time that I invest in some new wheels. Ozone layers. Holes from flying cars. Yeah. Right, I'm going to do it so the end thing is going to be over here. Which I guess means that one should be like so. And then it hits that block and comes this way. It looks ridiculously pointless when I add it on. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. Like, here, coming off the edge, it kind of does because of the curved rail thing. There's a bit of paranoia there. But then on the edge here, this don't make no sense at all, does it? It shouldn't be there. It should be here. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Not going for the ride-sharing option, then. I mean, I don't have anyone to share a ride with. The thing is, I don't drive a lot anyway, right? And you like, every now and then I need the car to get somewhere. It's not very often though. It's a few times a year that I desperately need the car to travel somewhere, right? I could probably, more than most people, get away with not having a car, but we live in a car-centric society, right? So, unfortunately, relying on buses and stuff is pretty pants where I live. Vehicle sharing. Yeah, I could see. This is the thing. So I talked to my sister about sharing a car because she doesn't need one much either. But it's like you just get this feeling of sod's law when you really need it. So does the other person, right? An electric car, you hope? No, I'm getting a second-hand one. I'm not gonna get an electric. It doesn't really make sense for me to have an electric. Maybe one day, I hope. What's wrong with my current car? It's just getting old, right? Like, the older it gets, it's gonna at some point become less and less reliable. You know, things deteriorate, degrade over time, and it's about having a vehicle that you can rely on and stuff, and it just feels like it's probably getting towards that age where it might start picking up some problems and it's less reliable. So, you know, time for an upgrade. Did I use all the sticks? I think I did. Matt, talking about getting a car has really perked up chat. There are so many opinions. You've got a 24-year-old car. Brilliant. I hear stories like that, though, you know, like, my logic is inferred to me from my dad, who reckons that I should be doing this, right? You know, the thing is, I don't know, and I don't know how to repair my own car. Like, maybe if I was a mechanic, a bit of a handyman, I could make it last longer and stuff, right? But I hear these stories of people that like, yo, I got a car that's like 20 years old and it works just fine. But I've been raised on this paranoid idea that if you have a car for more than 5 years, you need to get a new one. And I don't buy into that as much, but like, hey, I made my car last 10 years and I want to make the next one last 10 years, you know what I mean? So I think I'm doing okay. Yeah, there, 5 years, that's ridiculous. This is it. It's just like, this is just what I'm exposed to. I'm not a big car person. I don't engage a lot of conversation about cars, so I've got like a limited exposure of ideas. If that makes sense. I need to drink some water. Like, if I were really into cars and had more knowledge about it, like experience, etc., I'd have a kind of like more informed opinion. I'm not trying to say anything I'm doing is right, just letting you know like where my thoughts and reasoning come from. And it's basically a lack of experience and just whoever's got my ear. Right? Like, if you started saying something about guitars, restringing them or tuning them, like, I've got knowledge there. I've got information about that. I can have an opinion that I would consider to be informed. But that's very different from my situation with cars. With cars, I'm kind of like not really got a clue. Your Jeep is 12 years old and has 98k miles. So my current car has 45 on it, and the one I'm getting has 30. Because I've been told that like mileage is a sign of wear and tear and use and stuff. And again, it's kind of like, I don't know what these numbers mean. I was looking at this website, going through all these different cars and all these different mileage amounts, and some are over 100, and they could be just fine. 45k is a baby. This doesn't surprise me at all that this is where chat is going. Yours has 340k. Wow. Well, as someone who doesn't drive a car much and doesn't really need anything more out of my car than what I've got in my current one, y'all could probably be right. But I've kind of pulled the trigger now already. 45k is like brand new. Is my dad a car salesman? I don't know. My dad can be quite a pessimistic person, so maybe it's just a bit of paranoia. But hey, I'll make this next one last 10 years if all goes to plan, right? And I'll have more experience by then. At least, you know, I'll be driving a car for 20 years at that point, and maybe I'll have a bit of a different opinion having... Like, my car that I've currently got has only ever given me problems a couple of times. So I have had to take it to the garage and stuff. 45k in 10 years is amazing. I hardly drive it, you see what I mean? Like, and me... Like, I probably got it at like 30,000, 35,000. Like, I barely put any mileage on this car, right? I also didn't keep it in my garage, and I've recently cleared out my garage and made it so that I can park my car in there. So I feel like this next one that I'm going to get is going to get that like extra level of being looked after well. So hopefully that one will last even longer. You've barely put 5,000 miles on your car in the 11 months that you've had it. Hey, you put more in than I do in 11 months. By some amount. Libby Hellish, thank you ever so much for 3 months. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. UK people don't drive long distances much, do they? Well, we're a small country. It depends on the size of your country and how far things are spread out, right? So, like, in America, like, y'all will drive 10 plus hours to go visit relatives or whatever. You can't drive for 10 plus hours in the UK. You hit a coast. Like, the longest trip from, like, the bottom of the country to the top probably takes about 8 hours tops. And you're really stretching it. From most places to the other, like long drives. If you live in the Midlands, the furthest you're going to drive is like 3 or 4 hours to other places, you know? So, like, your proximity to other places in the country is a thing too. So, yeah, we don't do as much driving. Hey, you can take your car to France. That's true. I could leave the country. But, like, if you're in a situation, like, it's not a common situation to need to drive from one country to another on a regular basis if you're on an island. If you're on, like, if you're in Europe, yeah, probably. But, like, not on an island. You live halfway in London's 4 hours and 20 minutes. There you go. You read somewhere that Americans can't comprehend how old Europe is and Europeans can't comprehend how big America is. Sounds about right. There's a ton of history here in Europe. And America's very big. Oh, that was way more rail than I thought I was going to get. Way more rail. So yeah, maybe I could have kept my car a few more years or whatever, but I've been encouraged to get a new one and whatever. Okay, I've done it. I pulled the trigger. I'll get my hands on it soon. It's all a learning curve, really. What am I getting? I'm basically getting the same car again, but like the second model, like the refresh. So it's going to be very familiar. It has like a screen and sat nav built in. So like the more modern your car, the more safety features there are. That's something to be said. This one isn't a huge step up on that front. But like I don't really need the sat nav screen. This is the thing. Like when I drive, all of my attention is like on driving. By the way, I almost crashed the other day. There's a story for you. All of my attention is like mostly directed at driving, and so all these like little creature comforts and conveniences, they're not actually that important to the driving experience. So maybe having something like cruise control might help. I can't remember if the one I got has that or not, but I don't really feel like I need all these little creature comforts. Once I'm in there and I'm driving, I'm good. You almost crashed, ? I did, yeah. So I don't know what it was, because I am an attentive driver. I don't take driving lightly. But as I was pulling out of the road that I usually pull out of, the car in front of me sort of did this this kind of like, well, but basically they pulled over, but it was like a really strange spot to pull over because there wasn't actually anywhere to pull over, and it was quite unexpected. And as I like overtook them and like checked left and right, I was like, oh, there's space to pull out, and I pulled out, and a car came across from my left-hand side, and I had to swerve really hard into the oncoming traffic, right? Fortunately, that traffic was quite a way away because I looked and it was clear, right? And so I'm now parallel to that car that goes past me. And I also couldn't tell if they were like, what they were thinking. Like, you don't know, the car just goes past. There wasn't a toot of the horn. And then I pull into that lane and keep driving, and like my heart was racing a bit and stuff because I did not see that car. And then I was like, I am not distracted right now. I am focused on my driving because I take it seriously. I had some music on, but like I have a second brain for music. It was just playing, and I was like, why didn't I see that car? And I wonder if it was because of the one that pulled in front of me in a strange spot to pull in. That when I overtook it, I'm immediately on the junction, and then I just didn't look both ways properly or something like that. I don't know what happened, but it happened, and I could have hit that other car. When I pulled out, I saw it coming all of a sudden and turned really hard and didn't collide with it. And it really shook me up. And what's frustrating is that I don't know like where I failed in my judgment, or like why I didn't spot that car, and that's what I want to know. Because I want to be a good driver, and I don't want to. No one wants to get in the crash, right? But like, I guess, you know, I'm not like a racer boy, you know, out taking the mick and driving fast or anything like that. I'm not that sort of driver. I want to be a safe driver, and that was just a moment where, you know, I don't know what happened. Like, and I want to know what happened, but hey, was it a blind spot? No, it wasn't. I think what happened was, it was just the way the car in front of me unexpectedly pulled into this odd spot, that as I maneuvered around it onto the junction, I was sort of, maybe like my attention was a bit too much on getting around that car, that when I saw space on the right, I hadn't properly checked on the left. I pull out to turn right, and then the car whizzes from the left. It's like, I don't know, like, I would just like to know what went wrong, essentially. But are you a skater boy? And he was a skater boy. He said, see you later, boy. Something like that. I never really liked that song much. Now when I hear it, I'm just like, oh, I remember that one. You know? At the time, I was like, Avril Lavigne, sell out. Sell out. Some dumb teenage opinion that I once had. Probably. Fake music, man. Maybe they didn't have their headlights on. Oh, they did when they passed, but maybe not before. It was also nighttime, I might add, and that made me wonder if, like, just it being nighttime kind of made it a little more difficult. Sometimes I feel like you can start driving at night and just be a little less alert, and then you're like, wait a minute, it's night. You know what I mean? I feel like I've missed some key ingredients here. which I also don't have. Which might be why I've missed them. Oh! Crikey! God! Almost dead all of a sudden. Just like that. Oh my god, these trident-wielding ones, eh? You messed up last March and did crash. You was turning left across a 4-lane road. 3 lanes had stopped and left a gap. 1 lane hadn't, and I didn't see the car coming. Dang, man, that sucks. That sucks. Oh yeah, it's scary stuff. I've had you know, over the years you'll just have little moments and stuff, but that was one of the worst ones for me the other day. That's probably actually, now that I think about it, probably the roughest one I've been through. But dang, like an actual crash, yeah. Xisuma, I've seen you play guitar on your second YouTube channel. First off, dude, you play so well. I love it. How many years have you been playing guitar? I started when I was a teenager. Didn't know how to learn. Didn't take it seriously. Sort of doodled, farted around. In 2016, so 10 years ago, I decided to get back into it and take it really serious. And that was definitely a good experience to do that. But then I think around like 2020, I got kind of quite burned out and stopped playing. And it was because I had really like drilled myself to get better. And I'd taken a bit of the fun out of playing. But then a few years later, I slowly started getting back into it. And now I play very regularly with an intent to like practice, improve, and learn. But like I've sort of rejigged it all in my head so that like the incentives make sense. Like if I'm really not feeling it one day, it's cool. You don't have to play. And like I don't do crazy drills anymore where I'm like practicing technique to try and speed up and stuff. I do what feels fun and have fun doing it. I think that's super important to be able to have fun. At least for me. So, how does this work? You detect if there's something in the hopper, right? And then that turns off the rail. And that's it. Done. Right, so that's the collection system figured out. Might want to put a couple of slabs over here, just realised. You've been in 2 car crashes. People died. I wasn't at fault either. Don't drink, drug and drive. Nearly killed me twice. And now you have cancer. Dang, you've been through some things right there. You've been through some things. That's crazy. What did I come back over here for? Slabs. Yeah, I mean, life can be hard. Like, I feel like I've gotten through life sometimes pretty unscathed by stuff like that. That's crazy. Okay, so that's all good. We want to put down a minecart. Now we've got to do the water sources, and then we're going to bounce. I think I'm going to make the water sources 2 blocks. Because the item might drop a little higher up than where the drowned is or something. Yeah, so that might be a thing. Okay. Off you go to collect stuff. Right, let's try and get through this next bit without dying. I need a waffle topic while I'm doing this, chat. So, oh, and you got a naughty. Look, it's got a naughty. Just gotta make sure that you stay in the farm. Oh, that's me in trouble. Woo! Wait, I got copper, so there should be a naughty shell for me as well, right? Dang, I'm gonna run out of rockets here. Where's me naughty shell? Yay! Yay! We all stream, we get 1. A waffle topic, what would you put on a waffle? I tell you what, the other day I baked some 100% cocoa chocolate with eggs and doing it in a particular way where you whisk the eggs, la 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 la, basically make a baking cake. And you know what? I actually did it. It worked. It rose like I made a proper cake. Zero sugar cake. It had the right kind of texture. It was good. And it totally lacked any sweetness. And that's something I can tolerate. But I know that most people would not have enjoyed it. I need to find things that it mixes with. I've tried mixing it in with my own ice cream. Brilliant combination. I tried putting peanut butter on top. That was pretty good. I also put some Kvarg yogurt on it, and that went pretty well as well. But now I'm going to experiment with like a little more sweetness, try and find that balance, and like, yeah, just why do I want to go for water here? I've got to go down to the bottom, haven't I? Yeah, just really depression cake. No, man, it's like actual food cake. I don't know. Maybe you lose a lot of like nutrition and stuff when you bake. I don't know. But it is the kind of food I like eating. I don't like the sugar rush. I'm very sensitive to it now, and I'm kind of quite into savory food as a result of essentially conditioning myself to enjoy that stuff more. I legitimately enjoyed it, and now I'm just looking for like the right stuff to combine it with. I have some peanut butter that is actually like, it's made in Wrexham. I was reading the label. It's actually like pure peanut, like not made with oil, not any additives or sugar. It is straight up peanut, just made into peanut butter. And that stuff is really nice. I think that's the sign that this is working. If we do this nice and slow, we'll get there. I say do it nice and slow, then I start speeding up. Yeah, so this was about waffles, right? I've had like no sugar waffles before as well. I can tolerate that kind of stuff. I think you need to like mix it with the right things, and then you can just avoid having sugar and stuff all the time. Yo, why can't I get out of this? Shouldn't I be able to resist this current a little bit? It might become a bit of a problem, actually. Right, nothing spawned above us. Hey, Mint Melodies, thanks for following. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Powerboss says, bye guys, it's been fun. Stuff going on in life right now, won't be watching for a while. Thanks for tuning in, my dude. Whatever you got going on, I hope it ain't too difficult or whatever. Best of luck to you. Couldn't swim up because you skipped leg day. I did leg day today. Leg day is my favorite. My legs can take a beating. I'm always into working out, but I'm really into it right now because I've just been very consistently training for like a couple of months. Actually, last year, the end of last year was pretty good too, but like this year, I have really focused and taken more time, you know, just doing like the technique better. Every time I do a workout, I remind myself like, don't be in a rush. And as a result, like everything's going really well, no injuries. Just loving it, really. Come on! I think I have to use a rocket. I'm not in swim mode, am I? Why can't I get out of this thing? I feel like I should be able to. Let's get rid of the shield. I am in swim mode. Oh my god, I feel like I should be able to escape. And we did. Huh. It's kind of weird. Right. Now we go up top again. Fat American pancakes or thin American pancakes? Honestly, for me, pancakes, it's about like not having lots of sugar in it. I could take small, big, whatever. I kind of like these fluffy ones that we have. Yo, Powerballs, thanks for gifting a sub to Mia Otis. Always appreciate a gifted sub. Whole grain pancake. That I would like to try. We have these fluffy ones that I get occasionally. They've probably got sugar in, you know, like now that I think about it. I need to do the homemade stuff, but sometimes at Asda I get their ones, and they are called something pancakes. Man, they have a name in front of them, but they're kind of like light and fluffy. They're not thin, but they're not terribly thick either. And they're really nice, and they're really nice because they're full of sugar, and I haven't had them in ages. And I'll probably, at some point, I'll like cave and be like, go on then, have a treat. And then I'll eat them and I'll be like, oh my God, sugar. Yeah, I'm like, I've been slowly turning the dials and changing up my diet a little bit lately to get even more sugar out of the diet, and I'm liking it. I've been eating these just gorgeous breakfast bowls where you just get some Greek yogurt, kefir yogurt, put in some oats, put in some flax and chia seeds, some nuts and trail mix and fruit, frozen, dried fruit, like just a whole assortment of tasty stuff. And man, I love it. It's just really, really lovely little meal to have. If you're going to have thin pancakes, you might as well have crepes. That's what crepes are, right? That's the French word for pancake, I think. Possibly. Oh no! There's one netherrack, and look at where that minecart is. It's teasing me, people. It's teasing me. Okay, let's fix it. I had this weird feeling that the minecart might pick up the rail for a second there. I was like, it's going to spoil my fun, isn't it? I know how this works. Almond flour pancakes are good. What do I consider a lot of sugar? Like, any sugar, really. You can have fruit if you... Like, not fruit juice. You can have fruit because the fruit is fructose and it comes with fibers and stuff, which is like when your body absorbs sugar, you want to absorb fiber at the same time, is the thing that those people say, because I'm not a medical professional or a nutritionist. I just listen to people that claim they are. There we go. That's a little bit cleaner. So you have the whole fruit, and then you get the fiber with it, right? That's the idea. So that's something that I get. That's like an amount of that sweetness that I get in my diet, I guess. But generally, like, because I have Whole Foods and stuff, like, I'll see it going in. Something like mirin is quite sweet. Sometimes I cook with mirin or honey. But, like, when you make cakes, if you see the amount of ingredients, people are putting bowls of sugar into cooking cake. And, like, I cannot eat like that. A little bit here and there to sweeten something up. Okay, you know, like, I've had homemade waffles where you've put in a couple of spoonfuls of sugar or something. Fair enough. But, like, some recipes, you're just loading sugar in over and over again. And, you know, when you have a cake and it's like, the cake is sweet and it's got icing on, the icing is ridiculously sweet. I can't eat like that. I just don't want that stuff. You can just feel it mess with your body. A little bit of here and there, it's alright. So I like to just try and find stuff that has, like, there's little sugar in, but, like, some good flavor. Like, vegetables are tasty, man. Carrots can be quite sweet sometimes. I prefer savory foods to Zace. That's my attitude. That's what I tell myself. Savory foods are where it's at. Didn't you tell a story about almost getting knocked out by a milkshake one time? Yes, I told that one recently. That was a peanut butter milkshake. Now, I am a sucker for peanut butter, and I'll tell you what, one day when I'm next in America, right, I would be looking forward to, like, Butterfinger and Reese's Pieces, but I know it's too loaded with sugar. I have had my own homemade pure cocoa and pure peanut butter experiences now, and I love that combination. All the sugar in it isn't necessary, but anyway, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here. So Five Guys do peanut butter milkshakes, and if I went into one today, I wouldn't get it. I'm over it. Like, I've had my share of milkshakes. It's milk, it's flavoring, and loads of sugar. And I looked up actually the calories of this milkshake. It's something like 600 plus calories, and like it's just full of sugar, spoonful after spoonful. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I got this before I was quite aware of its contents, and like I was drinking it, and at first it was like, oh, it's so tasty, yum. And then it was like a few sips later, I was like, this is really sweet. And then quite quickly that became, this is quite sickly. But I was like, but it's peanut butter milkshake. I gotta drink it, right? So I get about halfway through it, and I'm actually like forcing myself to drink it. And then I was like, oh no, this is too much. And I threw it in the bin. And then literally, like moments later, walked past a homeless person. And I was like, they probably would have appreciated this. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they're on a diet. But I can imagine, you know, I've given like leftover food to homeless people before, and in my experience they appreciate it. But I think what they want more is like human interaction more than anything. But you know, if you've got leftover food, don't throw it in the bin. Anyway, I threw it in the bin, and I was like, I'm glad I did that, because that thing was knocking me out. Too much sugar. 600 is easy work for a North American. I bet it is. I bet it is. What's your guilty pleasure? It has to genuinely be guilty. I don't have one. I've never operated that way. I don't have a guilty pleasure because like the stuff I like, I share or whatever. Like, let's go get. Oh, do you know? I don't want to get more dirt. I got to finish building the farm though. We got to get dirt. We got to get torches, and then I'm good. I think after that, I might. No, I probably don't have enough in my ender chest to finish this, but I do have a shovel and there's dirt here, so I think we can finish this today, actually. Maybe even AFK here. Yeah, we'll fly down and then fly back. Yeah, like the whole guilty pleasure thing, it's like, if I like the Spice Girls, I'll tell you I like the Spice Girls, right? Like, I don't have that kind of like thing I like that I think should be a secret. Maybe I do and I'm not aware of what it is, but like, do you know what I mean? It's like, what is a guilty pleasure? Is it something you're actually like ashamed of? I don't get it. If you like something, you're into it. What's wrong with liking the Spice Girls? Nothing. That's the point. It's just, it strikes me as one of those things. Like, when I've heard that question answered, it's usually like a guy who doesn't want to admit that their favorite singer is Britney Spears or something like that, right? Like, it's like they think other people think they shouldn't like. If you're a guy and your favorite singer is Britney Spears and you love the Spice Girls, so the heck what? Enjoy what you want, you know? Like, there's these, I don't know, preconceived notions that people should be into one thing or another. So to me, it's just like, I don't get what the question is really about. I mean, I get what it's about when other people answer it. It's like, okay, so you think that there's something wrong with that? If you got a guilty pleasure, don't be guilty about it. Enjoy it. Be yourself. You know what I mean? Hey, lol, this is my guilty pleasure, says Kat. Right, so watching me is your guilty pleasure. Right, okay. But like, it shouldn't be a guilty thing. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Maybe another thing you could say is like when you behave or engage in a behavior that you know's bad for you, but you do it anyway. I don't let myself off on stuff like that. So like, I'm not secretly, I want to be healthy, but I'm secretly eating cake every now and then. I'm just not like that. So I don't know. Everyone's judging people for what they like makes me feel like people are losing their personalities. Possibly? Don't know. Not entirely sure what that means, but yeah. One thing we do need to go down and do is see all of this here. Things can spawn in it, which we kind of don't want. So I should probably slab it, and we'll use stone to do that. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. So we'll need a crafting bench, which I of course have on me. And then we'll need stone, which I of course have on me. Of course I have it on me. Of course I do, homie. Right, let's grab that. 6? Didn't I just make like a whole... Okay, there you go, it caught up. Strange stuff. I'm seeing weird little outlines on the edge of these blocks in this dark space. Probably just one of the rendering mods messing with it. You think carrot cake is underrated? Fair enough. I mean, it's cake, so I'm not particularly enthusiastic. Unless you're like, it's got 0 sugar in it, and I made it with nothing but carrots. Then you might get my attention. That's how I work. Zucchini cake is underrated. Zucchini is interesting if it's the thing I'm thinking of, right? It's like one of these 0 calorie noodles thing that you can make. The reason it's 0 calories is because your body doesn't actually digest it, and if you eat a lot of it, you can give yourself indigestion problems. So heads up on the old zucchini. It's not as good as it sounds. It's low calorie because it's no calorie. Your body's not actually digesting it. Zucchini is courgette. I'm thinking of the wrong thing then. Okay. So who can tell me what I am thinking of? Because I'm pretty sure it begins with Z. Nonsense. Carrots have a lot of sugar by themselves. I'm not surprised you say that because I keep having a munch on a carrot whenever I'm cooking. I love to snack on carrot while I'm cooking. And like every now and then it hits me. It's like, oh, this is really sweet. Probably when I'm having like a low sugar day because, you know, you can't avoid every bit of sugar, right? Sometimes your meals have got a bit more than others. Celery, no, celery's fine. That's not it. That's not it. It's a noodle thing. There's like this. I thought it was zucchini noodle, and oh, you know, it's super low calorie. I tried it once. I didn't think much of it. Later on, I learned that the reason it's so low calorie is because your body can't digest it. We need something, and we need it right now. Bam. That's what we need. Let's go around and make sure this thing is lit, son. 0 noodle. Am I messing up my words? 0 calorie noodle. Zucchini is good as orange chicken. Does no one know what I might be mistaking it for? Because I am pretty like sure it was called zucchini. Kale? No, kale's a proper food. Kale's a really good food. Zucchini noodles are decent. I'm pretty sure it was zucchini noodles. But like, if zucchini is courgette, then surely not. Cognac? I don't think it was cognac, but that doesn't sound like... I don't know, cognac doesn't sound very foodie. I wouldn't be surprised if cognac was not a food, therefore you didn't digest it and it's 0 calories, right? Zucchetta? Okay, zucchetta might be it. That's like a very similar sounding word, so... might just be letting me off the hook there with that one. Alright, well, we don't know. Oh, one more light in the corner. Let's move this one over a bit. Good spot. I need another one just here in the middle, actually, because... I mean, the ender chest is providing a little bit of light. Right, that took way longer than expected. I thought that was going to be half the stream. Goes to show. It goes to show. This stuff always takes longer than you think. Now, I can safely... Dang it! I thought I'd done something and I hadn't. I can safely AFK up here without fear of phantoms. This would be a great place to put a phantom farm as well, actually. Just AFK up here and, like, hack and slash at the phantoms. Yeah, I don't have phantom spawning turned on, so I can safely AFK up here. Celery is a negative calorie. The reason is there isn't that model's munch on it. I don't know what that last bit meant. It's not 0 calorie. It's apparently it's got so little caloric value that chewing uses more energy than celery does. And like, hey, if you're on a diet and like you want a bit of a you like a big eat, man, put a load of celery into your salad. Like that works. You can really like buff it up, bulk it up even. Okay, so now Xisuma go stand here and drowns. Oh, we missed a bit. I forgot to slab that. And you're not doing quite what we thought you were going to do. Oh, now you are. It's because of the walls next to it, I think. Let's watch what happens to the item when it drops. It gets pulled down. Hey, look! look, they're working. And it turns out that I got... And you got a naughty shell. We're going to see it happen, people. It's going to happen. No, you're escaping. Right, that's a little unfortunate that they can do that next to the wall. That naughty shell will now get picked up eventually. Where's my minecart? About to pick it up. The success of the stream. I was going to take a screenshot. I missed my opportunity. Right, so we've got to flow down here at some point and slab that stuff too. There's always one thing. I'm going to do it another time. I'm going to do it another time, people. I'm going to wrap my stream up here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hit the follow button. I'll do another stream some point soon. Probably on the weekend. Maybe not Saturday. Maybe later on a Saturday. I don't know, because my plans are going to be in flux a little bit. What I need to do, though, right now is look for a channel to raid. If you're listening, come and look at the screen, because the Xisuma flag is on display. If you haven't heard of this before, you've got until the end of the month to grab it. It's coming your way at a low price, because the goal is not to make money from it. It's just to give you a cool piece of merch. I don't do merch very often. This is a really unique personal idea. It relates to my metal flags I have hanging off my wall, and it helps support an artist too, right? So if you want to get your hands on one, yeah, you know what to do. You know what to do. I'm looking for like a random Minecraft channel today. And like it keeps throwing me like people with lots and lots of viewers. So let's go super low, try and make someone's day. Right. I recognize this person from MCC, and they're doing MCC practice, so seems like a good fit. Y'all know the MCC. Antfrost, right? One of the top players on there, I think. Stick around if you want to see some Minecraft minigames. That's the raid setup. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. And see you all again sometime soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.